Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Chat Derbyshire podcast. I'm Luke and I work for Derbyshire's Public Health, Mental Health and Suicide Prevention team. We hope you're doing well, and today we're lucky enough to be joined by Molly, and we're going to be talking about social media, the effects on our mental health, but also the positive side and how we can really utilise it to help each other. If you don't already, follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at DCCMHSP. So Molly, welcome. So as always, before we start, we'd just like to check in with ourselves and see how you're doing. So out of 10, how would you say you're feeling this morning?
Being honest, probably about a 4.5, but only because I'm very nervous about this. I think once this is done, it's a stressful time of year, isn't it?
It is.
And
it's
I've got
stressful.
a lot of work deadlines, and I'm panicking about getting the house ready for Christmas, and I'm a bit stressed, but it'll be fine.
Yes, especially once you get this out of the way.
Yes.
7 today. You're the first guest that I've never met before filming as well.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's a bit like
awkward, isn't it?
But we'll get there. We'll stomp through it.
We'll be fine.
You won't mind introducing yourself?
So I'm a Derbyshire blogger. So the people, if you know me, which sounds like dead cringe, but
I love it. No, that's amazing. I can't wait to be able to say that now one day. Like, for those who know me.
Yeah, I write a blog about Derbyshire, but also now I work in social media. So I do like content creation for small businesses. I've previously done a lot of social media management, but I'm that was quite stressful. So I'm sort of trying to like do more consultancy and coaching and kind of that kind of thing.
So if anyone is interested in getting support with their social media or getting in contact with you or reading your blog, what's the best way for them to do that?
So the blog online where I share like places to go, etc., nice places in Derbyshire, that's so the website is Lovely Local Indie. My main platform, I suppose, is Instagram, where I'm Molly in Derbyshire. Or if you want to hire me, I'm on LinkedIn.
That's great.
Molly Scott.
We'll pop all the links in so everyone can find it. So Molly, with all your experience with social media, now you're supporting more people with it, but obviously with your experience before, what has been your overall sort of experience with social media from when you first started, to now, I guess?
I suppose overwhelmingly my experience has been positive.
That's great.
I sort of felt, I did fall into it, so it's all happened kind of slowly and organically. Yeah. But I think when I've been thinking about what to say on this podcast, I think the thing I appreciate most about social media is it really gave me like a creative outlet when I needed one, really. Yeah. I'm maybe not like a traditional creative person, like I can't paint, I can't draw, but I sort of fell into writing about things, blogging. Like I used to love photography, but I know I'm not like a technical photographer. So it's definitely, like it's led to a massive career change for me. So I'm very grateful for that. I've met friends through it. So on the whole, good things. But there's obviously like, other things. Besides.
No, definitely. It's so nice that you've had, a positive experience, being able to use it in the way you have. And I think it's a good point, isn't it? If people are interested in stuff, to just give it a go. Yeah,
definitely. And I think there are, it's definitely like a growing industry.
Yeah,
like there are,
definitely.
jobs in it. It's definitely something to like be aware of and think about as a career. Like incredible opportunities that have come to me, because I've been just posting what I wanted to initially.
That's nice.
So I feel very lucky in that regard. Good. Yeah.
Throughout it all, I'm sure there'll have been some downtime. How have you managed to look after your mental health? Because I know from my own experience, it's hard to come off it. Yeah. It's hard to not check it. It's hard not to respond to DMs and stuff. So how have you been able to balance that? And I guess for anyone listening, maybe even if it's not your job or stuff, just to take that time away from it.
I So one little thing is I don't have notifications on my phone at all. So like nothing ever pops up.
That's
I
a
have
good
to
idea.
like actively.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I check it like far more times than is healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely like, and usually, especially now that I'm working on in the day, usually like it's a bit more 9 to 5 at the moment.
Okay.
So in the evening, typically I'm not on my phone. Like
That's good.
I try to like, I mean, I'm a nightmare. You know, I probably
Yeah.
have a sneaky
No,
peek,
yeah,
but
yeah.
generally if I'm watching TV, I try to like, you know, just turn it face down. There's definitely times when if I sort of sense it in myself when I'm scrolling too much.
Okay.
I think I definitely feel better when I'm creating content and putting it out there and then like engaging with the reaction to that. I think if I find myself like mindlessly scrolling, I often start to not feel great in myself. Like you start to compare yourself or just, so often then I think, right, like put it down, go and do something else, like maybe have a day off.
Yeah.
Often at weekends I'll not
not.
schedule anything, not post.
That's nice.
That type of thing.
Yeah. I guess it can be tricky, especially for younger people. I think there's so many filters now. I don't know, you can just edit stuff to high heaven, can't you? And I've not got much experience of editing, but it's so easy to do. I know you might not have had experience of this, but how do you not let it affect you?
I think for me, like, I suppose I now, and it was very different 5-10 years ago, but I think now I'm 45, I'm, you know, middle-aged, I'm a mum, I've got no, like, I don't see myself, like I'm not there, you know, to look pretty or to be a certain body shape or whatever. So I try not to compare myself in that sense. Yeah. Which
that's great.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But I do just think like that's not what I'm bringing to this table.
Yeah.
Like it's just not.
That's so nice.
I suppose where my insecurities actually are at the moment is, and I actually don't follow accounts because of this, but for me, I struggle, you know, with like perfect home accounts, you know, and it's clean, and beautiful, and, you know, it's so easy to like, you know, look around at your own house. And actually, objectively, I live in a nice house, I've got a loving family, but it's not.
It's hard,
Instagram perfect. Yeah. But I've just found like actually I don't want to consume that content because mentally it doesn't.
That's really
doesn't fulfill me.
I think that's a really good point actually. Yeah, you don't, if something is getting to you, you don't have to follow it. Yeah. You know, and if you don't want it, just block it. If you really, you know, if you find yourself checking it even though you don't follow it and stuff, do because I think perfect lives come across on Instagram. So people mostly, on the whole, only post the good stuff. Yeah. We only post the good stuff.
Absolutely. And I know I'm guilty of that too. Like in the run up to Christmas, I've, you know, had some lovely invites and I'm posting these festive days out, which are gorgeous and lovely. Would we be doing all of that? Like, if we were paying for every single bit of ourselves? No, we wouldn't. And I know that me putting that out there might be some people that see that and feel bad because of that, and I would hate that. But
I think it is useful though, that one, it is your job, and two, you're very transparent. And I think a lot of people are very transparent when it is paid. Yeah. I think when there's a line is when people try and blur it between what's being a paid, you know, sort of job. Especially with products and product placement and stuff towards young people, it's blowing up at the minute, I think. So I think that's, and it's hard. I think sometimes you do look at stuff, don't you? And I'm like, oh my God, like look at that. How did he afford to do that? How did he afford to get all, you know, it's so easy to get lost in it. Yeah. But what a lot of time is it's either, you know, they're being paid to do it because it's a great job.
Yeah. Or being invited or gifted it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a minefield, I think, sometimes, isn't it? And
and I think I know for myself, I think the key is just to try and remember that, like I love Instagram,
Yeah.
but it's not reality.
Yeah.
And reality is like, I mean, I've made good friends from it.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them now,
Yeah.
I do consider like, real, genuine friends. But reality is, like the people that in your heart, like you really care for, or that the people that if you, I don't know, struggle with something, that they're there for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's reality.
It is. No, definitely. Yeah. And if it does get too much to, just come off it. But then on the flip side, it is really good. Like I was saying, looking at some of the places you've been, like Hardwick and stuff over Christmas. I went there because I saw it, and and I think it's nice though that it, it's just nice, wholesome
like
stuff.
On the days out, I do always try to like, put in free things.
Yeah.
Like if charities send me stuff, I always. It is hard because you obviously can't do every single thing that people ask. But if it's a charitable thing, I do try and include that or share it or whatever.
Yeah. And that's another thing, isn't it? Learning to say no. I still struggle with that now. It is hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it is hard.
It is hard because you just feel like you're letting people down. But this is going off on another tangent. We did some training today about boundaries, and it was really interesting. I think, and the biggest thing I learned is actually by saying no, it is better because then at least you're setting that expectation for people.
Yeah.
Whereas if I say yes and then I don't end up doing it for like 2 months or whatever, that's probably not as helpful for them. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. And I think I'm a people pleaser. Like deep down, I don't like to say no. So like often, people will send me messages, can you just share this? And that people pleaser in me wants to just, I just will. But if I shared every request I got, it's hard.
You've got
though,
to
isn't it? Like,
make
on
a
one hand,
balance.
you're sort of sharing a bit of your life, but it is a tricky one, and I think the way forward is good boundaries.
I think the best thing that came onto Instagram and stuff is turning off like views and stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's been great, and I wish more people would utilise it because even though it's nice, and I guess for us when we get likes on the work pages, it's just knowing that people are viewing it, people are engaging with it, so it is working. It's not, we got so many likes. It's, people really like
when
this.
It's for a brand, you know that the brand are going to care
exactly.
about engagement and reach and blah, blah, blah. And I was saying to a fellow blogger actually yesterday, we were both saying, like, we both know that we shouldn't get hung up on the numbers, but it's really easy to.
Yeah.
But again, that's not good for your mental health.
No. And I think, if anyone listening, it's using it for what you want to use it for.
Yeah.
You can't, it's so easy to put a filter on and create this perfect thing, which is great. Like, it looks lovely. I do it, and I probably won't stop doing it because it's so hard not to. Yeah. But it's just trying to remember that it's that's that perfect time in that one, image.
Yeah,
And it's not always like that. We all have down days, don't we?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing, and this is more for my interest, if you're having a bit of a down day, how do you, I don't know, motivate yourself to be, because it is very happy stuff you post and it's promoting brands and stuff. I guess, how do you get, I don't know, like today, it's a Monday morning, weather's not great. I
suppose actually now, often stuff I post is scheduled or planned. Yeah. So I'm not necessarily posting in real time. At the moment, actually, I don't really show up much. Like, I keep thinking, I must like do some video stories, like I'm talking to camera and stuff. But it's just not my like.
Yeah.
Like, I will force myself to do it because I want my brand, to get out there, and I want to, find more clients, blah blah blah. But it's definitely not my comfort zone. So I think if I was having a rubbish day, like, I'd go and, if I could, obviously often you're like, you've got commitments, but I would try and, do something I enjoy.
Yeah.
Not be chasing anything on social media, I don't think.
Yeah.
Or like reach out to, obviously reach out to a friend.
Yeah, that's good.
That type of stuff, yeah.
Has it got easier managing, I guess, the good? And, you said most of it has been good for you.
Yeah.
But when, I don't know, and if there has been bad times and stuff, how have you, I don't know, got over it? Or is it easy just to switch off to it or not notice it? Or
I think I'm lucky in that, I suppose I've deliberately tried to create quite a positive community.
That's great.
Find on Instagram, certainly generally I think people are like, positive, like nice. I think if I'm sure there's times when they're like, oh, shut up, you're out again. But I think most people, certainly people that follow me, like, I think they just ignore it, swipe on. Then I find Facebook quite,
okay.
like, I don't really. So on Facebook, I've got my personal Facebook, which is like ultra small, ultra private, and then I've got a business page, which hasn't really got many followers compared to Instagram. But I find like sometimes just the tone of the comments there are just, it's not really like, I don't know. I think I like a good moan as much as the next person, but I just think there's like manners, and I think there's ways to behave. Like if in a restaurant you'd say please and thank you, and
it seems to be lost. No, I agree.
But ultimately, I do think that says more about the person that's saying it. No,
that's great.
I don't know.
No, I think that's nice. Would you, again, you might not, but any advice to people that may be getting hung up on social media? We know there's so many positives to it, and you can utilise it for good. So I guess there's two questions. The first one is if they are finding it difficult, what sort of tips would you do, or what you've sort of learnt from to...
I suppose for me, I have come to the point where sort of in my head, I see it as that is like a business persona. And it's still, if there are like the odd negative comments, like it does, like I am quite a sensitive person, so it would hurt me. But I do try to think, right, either I want to make this work as a business or I don't. And, it's not all going to be plain sailing. And actually, do I really care what X thinks about my eyebrows? That was like the worst trolley I've had, I think. Someone sent me like this rant about my eyebrows. But in the grand scheme of things, like, do I care? Like, probably not. I know when my head gets a bit funny with it, usually I'm best coming off it for a little bit and talking to my husband, actually, who's very like rational and logical and is very supportive. Friends, or like, I think cyberbullying and stuff, I think kids can be, I think partly it's an immaturity thing, isn't it? I think
no, definitely.
I think until you've like had a bit of life experience and you appreciate like how that can feel and how that can affect people, I think I worry about my daughter going through all this, so I don't actually know what the answer is, but I just think like my childhood, my teenage years, like there was no social media, and actually you can, I know it doesn't feel like you can, but you can turn it off, switch it off. You can block people, you can mute people. You don't have to listen to like the rubbish bits of it. You just don't.
And you shouldn't have to. I think if we all thought about what was said. I guess a few tips, and this is from the public health sort of thing, is, and especially with young people, is do speak to people, reach out to your teachers, reach out to your parents and stuff, because they will listen.
Absolutely.
I think it's so important just to reach out and say, you're struggling with this, or you're not finding it easy. And like you said, just turning it off. Scrolling through TikTok and stuff. You don't have to, like, it's funny, you can get lost. You'll be like in that whirlwind of, I've been here like half an hour now and I've not done anything else. But do just come off it. And if you are getting lots of negative stuff, and just switch it off, block people, and try and change the algorithm. I think sometimes you get a spate of like rubbish algorithms, don't you, to stuff where you see like not very nice things and stuff, and if you just come off it for a bit or try searching for more positive stuff,
absolutely,
it will change it. Search for your Instagram, search for our Instagram, and then it'll just be full of positivity. And I think you've got to find your own crowd, especially at school and stuff. If you're being bullied, or when we first started this podcast, and still, to be fair, this is the reason I sit on this side, because when I sit on that side, my hair looks like it's receding loads. And I was absolutely mortified. That was because I was thinking, God, I hope no one comments on, economics
actually,
and
like,
stuff, and
yeah.
it just doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah. I think one thing I definitely learned when I was a teacher, which is like my old career, I think bullying, like the bystanders have a lot of power.
Yeah.
And I think, the people, I think, if we see stuff that's like bang out of order, I think, like you can, I don't know, I'm maybe not the person that would call it out there and then, but you can report accounts, you can like, you privately support the person that might be very hurt by it. You can like support them in going to teachers or... Yeah, and that goes for anyone. I think some adults can say some horrible stuff, but if you see that, do report it. And then do your bit and try and spread a bit of positivity. Do post something nice. Post what you've been up to and stuff, and just try and share that. Positive stuff and share positive messages. I think that's what's great about the stuff you post is it's always positive and bright, isn't it? And I try to.
That's what it needs to be used for, because it is great at getting messages out, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And it can be really utilised well. Going forward, what do you want to see your account turn into? Are you happy with where it's at? Is it the same sort of stuff, or do you have?
I was thinking about this on the way over. Like, I have no desire to like be like famous or like I don't want to go viral. Really, I think I want to keep growing my account and finding people that if they like it, come and like like join the fun type of thing. I suppose I want to like establish myself as someone that small businesses could come to and help them develop their social media. That's where I'd like to go with it.
That'd be nice. Yeah. So I guess the small businesses in Derbyshire need that help because just before I wrap it up, I guess the other thing is once it's out there, it's out there. Yeah. So is there any advice or any, I guess, key points you'd just we can make people aware around digital footprint online on social media?
I think I definitely had a bit of a scary situation. This is quite a long time ago now, where all of a sudden there was like a cloned account of me. I think it was like, I think I'd probably done a giveaway and there was like a scam account. Yeah. But which in itself is just an irritant. But they'd taken a picture of me and my daughter and that was like the profile picture, and it just like sent chills like down my spine. And like you read all the advice, don't you, and you know it, but I definitely slipped into like sharing too much of my family life. So that was a really good reminder that I think what you do put out ultimately is in the public domain, unless you've got your settings all like sorted out. So now, but I do try to think, this is out there forever. This is out there. This is really what I want to say. Yeah. I mean, as a teacher, I was. There's obviously like strict guidance about what you can and can't do. Since I've like fully launched myself into being freelance, I'm really aware that probably schools would not want to employ me as a teacher, and because I have shared like so much of my life that whatever job I go for in the future, that is out there about me now. And
that's a really good point.
Like in some ways it's great, but if I suddenly decide I want to be like a social worker or something, I'm probably rule myself out of that. So it's just to be aware.
No, definitely. I think it's a good.
And I think when you're young, like the joy of being young, isn't it, that you don't think, what will I want to do in 30 years time? But in 30 years time, you might want to be something that you don't want to see that picture of you on the park on a Friday night. Like most people are nice, aren't they? But if there is that one person
that's all it takes,
doing it maliciously, like I don't want them looking at my daughter.
No, definitely not. No, definitely not. No, and the more all of us can talk about this, support each other more. Hopefully, it makes things easy. Just keep raising that awareness. And it will all have a knock-on effect to our mental health, to our children's mental health, and just try and bring it up if we all become just more aware of using social media properly. Because if it's used how it not should be, but in a nicer way,
Yeah.
it will be so much more positive, and it'll be looked on, I think, a lot less negatively.
Yeah.
Just for any final, is there any final, I guess, comments?
I think when I was thinking about this,
like
on the drive over, I suppose I thought, like, ultimately, it is meant to be fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if it stops feeling fun, that's when it's time to, like, I don't know, put the phone away for a day or reach out or that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And if you are feeling caught up in it, just get out and go for a walk or do something you enjoy.
Yeah.
Go and get a coffee with someone, or, especially if you're listening over winter and stuff, there's so many warm spaces you can go for free in Derbyshire.
Yeah.
There's like 100, and Derby City as well. So, you can go to one of them, one of your community settings and stuff. So, but thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. I think, it was a subject we really wanted to cover as soon as we could, really, because we, speaking to people, I think it's not understood very well, even though a lot of people use it.
Yeah.
And I think some people that don't use it is because they're scared of it. And hopefully we may have maybe either put people at ease or at least, taught them something that, if it does get too much, it is affecting your mental health.
Yeah.
There's some real good things you can do just to stop.
And, like, if it is getting too much, maybe, like, send the closest people like a text and just like, I'm coming off socials for a weekend.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to go for a coffee?
That's great. That's lovely. Thank you. No, thank you, everyone. And thank you for follow us on social media at DCCMHSP. To follow Molly, to Molly in Derbyshire, but we'll pop all the links in the bio, pop a link to your blog as well. And you've been listening to the Let's Chat Derbyshire podcast, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.